So if I go for a timeline visual, I'm gonna need a date hierarchy and a date, and I'm gonna need two values. In my case, this is gonna be payout and budget. A very simple approach is using something just as simple as this, just a clustered column chart, right? Comparing one against the other. You can play around, of course, also with additional things like spacing to make the clusters more prominent, for example. So there's a lot of different things on how you can kind of play around with this. But one of the things that we allow you to do is, and for those of you who have played around with this a bit more, know that we have these 25 different series. And those 25 different series are values that you are able to showcase in one way or another. So what I'm going to be doing with these ones is actually starting to customize this. So I'm going to say that series 2, which is the budget, is actually going to be stacked on series 1. So you can see we can stack any series on any series. So that's already creating a lot of different combinations. But if I do this and not change anything else, most of you will look at this and be like, okay, that makes absolutely zero sense because you can't really put them together. It's a value that you're comparing one against the other. You can't really sum them up. Makes no sense. I agree. This is why the second thing that I would do is just go ahead and say that this stacking is going to be zero based. Now, once I do that, suddenly one of the columns completely disappeared. And I can explain why. If we look at the setup, we have series 1 and series 2, which also means that there is some drawing order of this series. So what the chart is basically doing, right? Zero stack means that both of those columns are starting from a 0 point, exactly the same location. So what happens is I'm drawing the first column, and then series 2 is being drawn in front of it. So it kind of hides the yellow columns. So through the formatting options, I can do something like this. I can go to series 1, which is the yellow column, which is now hidden. And I can say that, hey, I'm actually going to find a property called display order. I'm going to increase the display order, meaning that I'm bringing it to the front of the other one. Now, since they're both the same width, it's kind of hard to understand whether this is normal stack or zero base stack. So in order to help the users, I can do something like this and say that, hey, the width of the yellow column is actually going to be something like 50%, right? And I can use that as a reference. So this is how much we got. This is how much we had budgeted. If you don't like this approach where there's columns within columns, okay, go with a different one. Go back to 100 and say that there's actually going to be an outline. The outline is going to be, for example, thickness of 2. You don't really see it because it's yellow and yellow right now. But if I remove the fill color opacity, so I make the column transparent, but I only leave the outline, and the outline is going to be something more prominent, for example, something like black, increase the thickness. So you just start to play around with these things, right? So what I'm essentially doing is kind of creating a box within which the other column is being filled up. And for the other one, I'm going to be like, okay, let's put it like 95%, for example, maybe even less, 85%, just so we can kind of see that it's sort of a box, right? So you can play around with these different formatting options. This is one way on how you can kind of compare how much we have filled up things. The other thing that you can do is don't forget that you have the conditional formatting. So for example, if I start to combine this with a few other things, I could say that, hey, series 1 is actually going to be conditionally formatted. So I want to conditionally format the fill color or the outline. I could also conditionally format the outline, so that's another thing. But if I conditionally format the fill, I'm going to change the origin of the values to be another series, and I'm going to be referencing series 2. So suddenly now everything is in red, right? But then you also have to think about the logical aspect of it. Conditional formatting usually applies to, higher or lower. In this case, since I'm comparing the actual payouts versus a budget, if I'm under the budget, it's a good thing. It means we saved money, we didn't spend as much as we wanted to. So it's not bad. So what I have to do is just I have to reverse the rules basically, right? I'm just switching up the colors. Whereas if I go to a smaller segmentation, we can see that there are still going to be areas, for example, in a couple of months, where we have actually spent more than we had budgeted. You can combine this with other visuals, like for example, I could add something very simple like a donut chart right next to it, which would have things like departments by regions or regions by departments, doesn't really matter. Make everything based on a value, and then just start the cross filtering experience. You can see on a yearly basis, seems good. We're not over the budget any of the years. We can try to see in quarters. Okay, there's a couple of them. In months, there's probably going to be more. Uh, if you want to know how much is the difference, right? Because if I hover over it, 12K versus 9K, okay, there's like a 3K difference, but I have to calculate those things. Just create another series, which would be, for example, something like a difference. You could add it physically as a series, or you can just go ahead and add it in the tooltip content field. The tooltip content just allows you to reference the value in the tooltip. So if I go back to one particular year, for example, split it down to months, in the brackets, I can see exactly how much is the difference. So I don't have to do that mental juggling and figuring out the numbers.